And we are live. Welcome back, everybody, to episode 262. Thank you for joining us for this Tuesday special edition of Behind the Tool Belt. Today, we have another special guest, my man, Victor Yuri. We're going to get him in front of the camera today. Stay tuned. We will be back after our short intro from our sponsors.
Siding, windows, gutter, solar. Roofing, siding, windows, gutter, solar. TC Backer, TC Backer.
Welcome to Behind the Tool Belt, where the stories are bold, the conversations are real, and the insights come to you live, raw, and uncut. Every week, host Ty Cobb Backer sits down with game changers, trailblazers, and industry leaders who aren't afraid to tell it like it is. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. Please welcome your host of Behind the Tool Belt, Ty Cobb Backer.
All right. Let's go. 2025. Man, Behind the Tool Belt. Man, I think I was sitting there thinking earlier, I don't know if is this our fifth New Year's Eve
I think it
episode
is. Yep.
of Behind the Tool Belt.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, man, 5 years and so much has happened in that short period of time. It seems so long, but yet not so long ago. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that I can't really like relish in the moment. You know what I mean? I've always struggled with this done next. Move on and or relaxing and taking it in. And, I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse. But I wish there was times, and I'm trying, and I have been working on, being present and in the moment and being where my feet are. And I don't think it's necessarily that and struggling with that so much, but where I really identified that was when we were in Austin, Texas. It was you, me, John, Glenn, Heather, Sandy, Jana, Tina. When we got our first, now we had gotten the award before. I think it was the President's Club or something. Maybe we didn't. Maybe it was our first, like 1-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever the hell it was. Golden. I don't even know what the hell it is. The presidential Master Elite with GAF. When we got that award, okay, and we were all up on stage and we had that big picture, the ceremony, the dinner, the whole thing. For about 2.3 seconds, I was like, yeah. But no sooner as I was walking off the stage and I had that award in my hand, I'm already thinking, what do we got to do? What do we got to do next year to either make it better, make it bigger, to achieve what's the next award? Do they have another level to this? And I don't know if somebody said something to me or not, maybe not at that moment they said something to me, but like something rang through my head of something that somebody told me before that for whatever reason, like came to mind as I was coming down the steps, like, why can't you just enjoy the moment? And like I said, I don't know if that's a curse or if that's a blessing, because I'm highly motivated. I'm motivated. I'm driven. And I want it. Mike T says this a lot, and it resonates with me. And I said this on Sunday. I took Rocket and I went golfing on Sunday, and I said this to him. We were talking about something. It wasn't about the golf game. We have zero expectations when we go out there. It's a very humbling experience for me to be on the golf course. There's a lot of life lessons that are learned out there for me and Rocket, but Rocket's getting so good. But it's not, how does he say it? Shit. I'm trying to think. We were on like hole 7 and I said, it's not that I don't want to win. It's not that I don't like winning. I just don't like losing. Did you understand what I'm saying? Like, I just don't like to lose. It's not even about winning necessarily. I just don't like to lose. And I'm sure I'm butchering that up. completely. And I said it right. I said it more accurately on hole 7 at Honey Run. And it's a golf course, real nice golf course down the street from our house. But anyhow, hey Vic, welcome.
Thank you, buddy.
Welcome to, I think this is truly your first episode of you being a guest on Behind the Tool Belt. And you reached out, you said, hey, did you care? I got a guest. You texted me, I got a guest. And of course I'm like, who is it? And not that I'm a guest snob or anything like that. I've never been biased on who comes on the show. We do vet them though. You were like, hey, I got somebody. And I was like, okay, who is it? Right. And you're like, me, I got me. And I was like, okay, well, why did you ask me that way? You know what I mean? You come on the show anytime.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool to get you out from behind the camera and get you in front of the camera. And, so people can see who Vic is. I know for the majority of people that watch us, our religious viewers know who you are, I think. But I think it's important to, for those that catch it on a replay or don't see you at the events that we attend and actually see who Vic is and the inspiration and motivation that, it goes in to say, without you, a lot of this wouldn't happen. Okay. And not that we couldn't have figured out a way to do it. Maybe we'd still be in an iPhone 8 or whatever, but like you've played such a big part in that vision, that mission, that goal of what we wanted Behind the Tool Belt to be. And along with your influence, your imagination and us vibing and being on that same wavelength, right, has really helped this come to fruition. And a lot of times we didn't know what it was going to look like, but and us navigating and figuring this out, because we're not from, we don't have a background in media. We don't have a background in content creation. We don't have any of that stuff. We just kind of figured it out along the way. We've picked people's brains, and you've kept that ball moving down the field, even when my back was turned. And that, I think, and you've helped me. And this in many ways, more than just, hitting play or record or chasing me around wherever we are with the craziest ideas that I come up with. My point is you co-signing my shit and encouraging me at times where I felt weak, or at times where I felt like I was suffering from imposter syndrome, or you've reminded me, and I want people to know this. I'm not just saying this because we're live right now. I'm not just saying this because, I'm trying to stroke my ego or yours, or if anything, I'm really trying to stroke your ego in a positive way, that you have helped motivate me in so many different ways. One, because I don't want to let you down. Okay. But more importantly, there's many mornings, many evenings, many afternoons where, it would have been so easy to be like, man, I can't do it. Yesterday morning, I had one of those mornings, and it didn't have anything to do with Behind the Tool Belt. It was more so one of those things where heavy is the head that wears the crown type of thing. And maybe a little bit of woe is me, poor Ty. Right. And you didn't come at me like that, like, hey, poor Ty. Right. Because we'll make funnies and Jana, oh, poor Vic, has a roof over his head and 5 fucking dogs and, and a beautiful wife, loving, caring, poor Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
The slap of reality.
Yeah. It was, you didn't hit me upside the head with that. It was, and what I mean by heavy is the head that wears the crown. It was so funny, man. I was listening to this podcast on the way to work, and it's sometimes we're not always liked as a leader, as a significant other, as a parent, as a parent.
Yep.
We're not always liked, and we have to make the reason why we're in a leadership position is because one of many reasons that we're in a leadership position is because we make the difficult decisions that other people don't want to make, can't come up with the decision. And because we can make decisions and quick when we need to make them quick and be decisive when we need to be decisive. And unfortunately, all the time, we can't share the full context of why we're making that decision for one reason or another. It could damage the culture. We just can't share all of the ins and outs of why we have to make a decision. We just got to hope and pray that in the next 4 to 6 months, they'll eventually see why we've made the decisions that we made, and we're not always going to be liked. And that's what the podcast was talking about. I was like, man, how true is that? Not that was fully what was happening yesterday, but I can tell by people's demeanor. I can tell by their body language when we're in a meeting who likes what I'm saying and who doesn't like what I'm saying. And I really used to let that affect me. Right? Making long-term decisions based upon people's short-term emotion that will affect us long-term. Right. And sifting through that shit and determining that my job is not to worry about what your feelings are, but to steer the ship, to grab the helm and steer the ship, because not every captain makes a good, not every person driving the ship makes a good captain. And I guess my point of that is, it's like, unfortunately, I have to accept the fact that I'm not always going to be liked. And that all of my decisions aren't always going to be accurate, but I have to make sure that I'm surrounding myself around good people, smart people that may not like what I'm saying, but trust somewhere deep down inside. And you know what? And sometimes I'll make a decision. Some people might not stay because they can't see the vision. And I have to accept that reality that I'm not always going to be liked. And I don't know what, I guess that podcast is what really made me start thinking about, it's tough because I want everyone to like me. I want everyone to agree with me, at times, but I also have to be okay with those that may push back, and you've done a good job of I think you might have said a couple comments to me yesterday, like, I don't fully agree with everything that you're saying right now for whatever reason. Not that you were giving me pushback, but I also need to have people around me that I can trust enough and they trust me enough and comfortable enough to give me some pushback. You know what I mean? And I have to be able to listen to that. It's almost like a conciliere. Like I almost need a couple advisors, trusted advisors. And that's tough. That in itself is hard to find, that a trusted advisor that won't take what I said to that said person, or, because this is the reality. And we talked about this yesterday a little bit too. The reality is that unfortunately at some point in time, I'm going to have to talk about an individual, not gossip, but strategically not talk about, but identify. I have to remain curious. Like, why is so-and-so doing this? Why did this happen? Like, I have to remain curious and not necessarily worry about how that's going to affect how somebody feels if I'm investigating or I'm staying curious, because that's where I think people get content. People get content. They get entirely too comfortable with the situation that they're in. And this is the scary part. It's most of the time it's a bad situation. But for them, it's more comfortable to stay in that bad situation than it is to remove themselves or change something about that situation. To them, seems more uncomfortable.
I get it.
Yeah. So
I, talking about yesterday, and I appreciate the words. And by the way, you push me, man. Like you push me like no other person has ever pushed me. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because without that, I don't think, let's just take all this away for a minute. I don't think I would be the person I am today. I'm not the same person that when I came here. That I know for sure. You know what I mean? And I'm not patting myself on the back. It's a reality. I'm not that same person, Yeah. And I think I've learned more about leadership and about being on a real team. Okay. And I said it in the meeting yesterday, and I'll say it again. I love everybody in this building.
Mm.
Everybody that works here. I am to the point now that I was supposed to be off yesterday, and I found a reason to come in here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stay away. You know, and to me that's a great thing. Some people might go, "What the hell?" Whatever. That for me that works.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's the energy. But talking about what you just said about talking about other people, to me it's a discussion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of look at it like a football player. Okay. You watch ESPN, they talk about their stats.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they didn't do this or they did that. Now, if their teammates run back and start talking to the ESPN reporter in the locker room about said person, then that's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But facts are facts. You run a business, first and foremost. That's what you have to do. That's part of your responsibilities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not everyone's going to like the decisions
No.
that are being made. They don't know what's at stake. They don't know the full context of the decision that has to be made. And unfortunately, as time goes on, you know, I've tried to be fully transparent. Okay.
Mhm.
And it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out good. People get disgruntled. People become ungrateful. It ruins cultures. Gossip starts to happen. Like sometimes there's things that just need to happen. You know, can't tell you all the details. And I'm getting better at that. And I'm also finding out who I can share things with and who I can't share things with. But that's a part of me growing up. That's a part of me maturing. That's a part of me not trying to make everybody happy, right? Because I'm a people pleaser. I want everybody happy. I want everybody to like me. You know, and then I don't want to become resentful either. And I don't want them to become resentful. I just need people, you know, to trust that, you know, there is some experience here. There's 30 years in the industry,
Mhm.
right? Whether it was managing somebody else's business, or managing our own business. Right. And I've had multiple businesses, you know, some of them failures, some of them very successful. Some of them we're still trying to get off the ground, pilot businesses that, you know, startups that we're still trying to get off the ground. And that's where, you know, surrounding yourself around a good group of people, which we have.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't think of one shithead, you know, cause sometimes shitheads fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
You know, they'll slip in and I can't think of, and before I forget, big shout out to Sammy. She's a New Year's Eve baby.
Oh yeah. Happy birthday, Sammy.
Today's her birthday.
Yeah.
You know, God bless her. Mackenzie just came to work for us. My middle daughter, my middle child, you know, Mackenzie Jean, you know, I can't wait to watch her grow and blossom because, like, circling back to what you were saying, you know, about you're not the same person. You know, you're the one that has to put in the work.
Mhm.
Okay. But you were willing to, and I've wasted my time on people, you know, and fortunately for us, Vic, you were not a waste of time. And I've had people pull me back, but this thing, you've had to put in the work. And one of my biggest joys today is watching other people grow. Just providing them ideas, thoughts, tools, resources, and watching them pick them up, use them, apply them to their life, their personal life, their professional life, and the list goes on. And it takes a special breed of person to watch and allow and set the stage, tee up an atmosphere for people to grow in. And this is what's cool about this. While you're growing, I'm also growing. And I had this thought yesterday. John shared Elon Musk, his book. Just sent me a screenshot of it yesterday. And let me read what, because I think this applies to some of the meeting that we had. You know, and we reviewed the core values. That's what the meeting was about yesterday. And then there were some other stuff going on. So it wasn't a bad meeting. It was just the year end. You know, first quarter kind of kickoff. We reviewed the core values, but he said he sent me a screenshot of the SpaceX book, Elon's book, and he said there are many similarities with your tripling down on risk and progress. Okay, And I'm not saying that I fully inspired John to grow into the human being, but he's made enough comments to me and has thanked me enough over the years that he's been here and the years that I've known him that he pretty much has said the same thing. And thank you guys, because I just need you both to know that you've inspired me probably more. And you know how this works, right? Mm-hmm. Like I am who I am today because of who you are today. Okay. And let me see if I can articulate this. Because I've given John enough room to roam, right? And expand and grow, that he's expanding and growing. And because of me surrounding myself with a person who wants to achieve great things, who wants to expand and stretch their mind, right? It's not just me turning him on to really cool things or resources on how to grow and expand your mind. Now he's sharing things with me, just like you have with me. And how cool is that now we, right? Because that's the definition of a genuine culture, is when you're learning more from your team than they are learning from you. Right. Yeah. It's just like we talk about in our group that we attend sometimes, right? It's, I get more from this than you get from me.
Yeah.
And when I can put my ego, my pride, and my fear down and watch you blossom and bloom into the content freaking magical creator that you are today, and not holding you back, but critiquing you at times, right?
Yeah.
Encouraging you at times. And I'm sure sometimes it might come off a little harsh. Like the one time I was a little worried that I may have upset you to try to help keep you on the rails a little bit. But sometimes it takes a stern hand to grab the helm during rough seas.
Yeah.
Right. And that wasn't necessarily the case at that time, but I understand when vision gets blurry and cloudy. And I just wanted to make sure that the vision stayed clear, and you handled it well. And I have to do the same thing too. When you critique me, like, I don't necessarily agree with that. You're an idiot. Stop thinking that way. Basically is what I heard you say yesterday to me. You know what I mean? And sometimes I need that little kick in the rear. Like, okay, I need to stop taking myself so serious. Right. But that's the thing. That's where that's growth for me, because I wouldn't have wanted to hear what anybody had to say before. It's my way or the highway. And I'm not saying that doesn't bear its ugly head, but I'm not saying that there isn't times and a place for me to have to say that. You know what I mean? But again, that's where tough leadership comes. That's where leadership is so tough sometimes, because I'm making decisions that nobody else can make.
Right.
Or want to make. And
I see, going back to that, man, and I know we haven't even gotten to what we're going to talk about, but that's fine too.
Yeah.
It's reciprocating. And I think that's the biggest thing I take away from this, man. What you just said is my definition of a strong culture. We feed off each other. We can handle the criticism from each other. I don't even remember what it was about that you were just talking about. Like, I remember it, but like, I look at the criticism as advice. It's not, you're a jackass.
Right.
It's, hey, let's, focus a little more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're all guilty of getting off the rails. But my point is that we work in tandem with each other. You know what I mean? If I can't trust you to come to you to tell you how I feel, there's an issue. That's my opinion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's good, because what that's done, even with John and myself, that's created a bond. Even if it's through creativity, there's a bond there that can't be broken. I don't care what happens next year. It doesn't matter. All I know is we're all moving forward. And I know that I trust you. You could say we're going to the moon. Okay. Seriously. Like, I'm not making that up.
No, I know.
Seriously. Like,
I know that.
Because I trust you enough, because I've seen what you can do. It's not just talk. It's all action. And we talk about it all the time. My dad used to tell me all the time, blah, 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 blah. Your accent is so loud I can't hear a goddamn thing you're saying.
Yeah.
And that hit me. Like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's important. We can sit here and talk. I've seen it a million times when people just talk. But you have a way of taking what's in your head, explaining it to people to where they get it. Okay. But you let go of that. After that, you kind of let it run its course.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have to applaud you for that. Seriously. And this isn't just blowing you. You know me. I don't do shit like that.
Yeah.
But I seriously have to applaud you for that because I don't know if I could do that.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's hard. That's hard.
It is hard.
Yeah.
It is hard. I guess my why's changed over the years. You know what I mean? I think we're all born selfish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think as babies, infants, screaming, pouting, temper tantrum. I think we're all born with some form of selfishness. We want what we want when we want it now. You know, kind of thing, and it's mine. It's all mine. That's my toy. That's my food in the refrigerator. That's mine. Right. And I don't know where at. I think it was. I don't even know when it started to self-development. You know, without self-development and pushing myself and experiencing the things that I've experienced and put myself through and other people through, I started to form empathy somewhere, right? And I started to realize that I personally, we talk about this all the time, have been given a second chance. And what am I going to do with that? Am I going to take it for granted? Am I going to live life by accident? Most people, and this is what's scary. This is what's scary. Okay. And I'm going to put this out there. This is a fucking golden nugget. Okay. Most people live life by accident, not with purpose, not with intentionality. They just kind of go through life. They jump from job to job. They don't live with no intention. They live with zero purpose or mission, right? They may think they are like, I want to make $1 million, but they're not willing to work for it. Okay. They want to have a big house. They want to have multiple cars. They want to make more money at work or whatever the case might be, but they're not really willing to put into the work. And I tell you what it takes. The first moment most people start feeling a little bit of pain, they let off. Oh man, that started to hurt. Or when they start to fail or they fail and they give up and they quit. Okay. That's where the problem lies. Nobody wants to experience pain. Everybody wants to be comfortable. They want everything handed to them. They want to be recognized for something that they should have been doing all along. They want a pat on the back. In order to get to that next level, to punch through that pain and that failure, okay? First and foremost, you need to have resiliency. Without resiliency, if you can't bounce back from negative things, if you can't bounce back from somebody not liking you, if you can't bounce back from failing and just beating your head against the wall. So first and foremost, you need to have tenacity and you need to be, I can't think of the word that I'm thinking of, but you have to have that tenacity first and foremost, because you can have tenacity, but the moment you start to feel pain or you failed, most people quit, right? They don't know how to bounce back. They don't know how to reboot. They don't know how to compartmentalize and put it back here or learn from it. Like, what did I do wrong? What can I do differently? Right. Mm-hmm. But I think identifying like, what is your purpose? What is my mission? What is my goal? And how am I going to get there? Right. Most people live life by accident. They're just kind of going through. Next thing you know, if I could go back and be 25, 20, 19, 17 years old, when I was growing up as a kid, I wasn't looking at things as experience that I'm gaining to help me later. Okay. I was just trying to get by. I was just trying to get mine. I was living by accident. There was no purpose of, okay, I want to go work for these people or do this or go to college or go to school or read this book. Okay. So then it will help me later. Then once I complete that, I'll have the skill set, the mindset to do something else. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to read this book. I'm going to study this course. I am going to do like setting the stage up for success. today, my life is lived with more purpose today and strategic, not by accident. Does that make
It
sense?
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, to me, it's like you're allowing life to happen to you
Yes.
and not for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like you just sit there and wait for the next punch to come and then you react to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right.
What's the point?
Or not react
Or
to
not
it.
react, or just sit there and take it.
Yeah. The woe is me, the poor me.
Yeah.
If this would happen to you, you'd be who, I'd be a piece of shit too, or
Right.
whatever kind of thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Play victim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
No, that's good, because that's important, man. And I think talking about that and just being aware of that, you know what I mean? That's good shit, man. And I hope somebody on here can take away from that, because
Being aware of it and hearing someone actually say that, like, stop living by fucking accident.
yep.
Live with purpose. I'm doing this because I'm setting the stage up. I am taking my kid to a special daycare so then when they start school, they're already ahead of the other students. Like, just live with intentionality, with purpose. Like, I'm doing it, like being strategic,
Yes.
more strategic about why we're doing things. And I can roll that into the conversation that we had earlier. Like, I'm like, the decisions we have to make typically are strategic decisions
Mhm.
and usually don't come to fruition for a quarter or two.
Right.
Like, you don't actually see the results of it, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a gamble, but we got to go with it and learn from it and keep pushing through it and be resilient along the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to have that tenacity, right? That energy, that drive. Drive was the word I was looking for. You have to have drive, but more importantly, you have to have resiliency, because everyone's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Mhm.
The kind words of Mike Tyson,
Yeah.
right? Who just recently got punched in the mouth, right? But I'm just saying, right? You got to be able to take those punches in the mouth, man.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And live with intentionality. Like, okay, I know this is going to hurt. Like, prepare yourself. I know this is going to suck. You have to learn how to embrace the suck,
Mhm.
get comfortable with being uncomfortable. We talk about that all the time. Like, stop being comfortable in the suck. Like,
Yeah.
shitty situation. Stop being comfortable in a shitty situation, right? Because whether you know it or not, it's very uncomfortable and it sucks for everybody else around us.
Mhm.
So we're gonna embrace even more suck and remove ourselves from the shitty situation that we're in, and we're gonna grow from this, because that's unfortunately where growth takes place, is in the suck, right? If you allow it, is in the change, right? Because just let go. Right? Grieve a little bit, however you got to grieve a little bit, let go, but know that what I'm doing, it's painful right now. Each time I do that rep, I
Mhm.
feel that muscle tearing, but I've come to enjoy that burn. I know what it's going to do later. When I look in the mirror in 3 weeks after I just went from, 5 to 10 to 15 to 20 to 30 to 35 pound rep, 30 pound dumbbells, right? I'm like, holy shit, right?
Mhm.
I can do 12, 3 reps, 3 times reps. But that's the thing. Like, and this is the other thing too. Everybody's about the instant gratification. It has become like this Amazon world.
Right now.
Yes. Right now. Nobody wants to have that delayed gratification. Like, I'm going to put into work and I know it's going to take 6 months. Like, again, getting back to like the moment it starts to get a little bit painful, the moment that I see failure coming, instead of trying to like, okay, what can I do to prevent the failure? Right? Like, looking at the solution here, like, oh, okay, I see, but what am I learning along the way here? Okay. It was too thin. It wasn't thick enough. I need to put an extra 30 minutes on it, like whatever the case might be. Or maybe I should have just let go
Mhm.
and delegated it to 2 other people to get it done in 40 hours instead of me doing it myself and it taking 3 months, like whatever the case might be. And I guess maybe I got off track there a little bit, but to answer your question from earlier, or not even necessarily answer, but like, I don't, like when you said, I don't know if I could do that, like allow other people in to enjoy, right? Because you're enjoying this, right?
Yeah.
And watch them, build out the framework, let them, I start 20% of it, right? And let you do the 80%.
Mhm.
And then I kind of come back and I look at it. Like, that's kind of what I've been trying to do over the past several years. Like, I come up with the vision. Sometimes I have to create the framework, but don't know all the nuances, but I know they'll figure it out because they're better at this than me, or I can take 6 months to try to figure this out, or let them continue the ball down the field for me as I work on this other project, or I go traveling, or I do whatever, but then I come back and 65% of it's built out. And that's kind of when I step back in, because that's delegation isn't just set it and forget it.
Mhm.
Delegation means I need to follow up later and see how the progress is making out. How are you making out with it? You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people get twisted, and then they start pointing fingers, and they can't take the blame that it didn't work out the way that they thought it was supposed to work out.
Mhm.
Right. And that's the other thing about leadership. Like, I can't take credit for any of this as much as I'd like to at times, and take the recognition. And I love the fact that you have identified, like, thank you, Ty. You know what I mean? I like that. You know what I mean? But you don't have to do that. But thank you. And that's what makes me more motivated to want to help more and provide and do more things, is because I know you're appreciative.
Mhm.
Okay. But it's when someone becomes unappreciative is where it becomes very difficult. And I got to realize that I put myself in that position. I chose the wrong person to pour into.
Mhm.
And again, that's not an egotistical thing, but it's like, I have wasted my time, energy, resources, finances on the wrong people.
Yeah.
And it's come back to bite me.
Mhm.
Right. But I got to roll with that. I got to stay resilient. I got to realize that I got more out of it than they did. And I also need to accept the fact that I know they're different.
Yeah.
Even though they're not here anymore,
Mhm.
I know they're different people.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the catch-22 to legacy. They're never going to give you the credit for it,
Mhm.
which is okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to keep doing the things I'm doing. So anyhow, enough of that crap, at least for now.
All right.
What do you want to talk about? What's coming up?
Well, let's see. 2025. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up, man. I'm going to launch the Brick by Brick here very shortly.
Okay.
For those that don't know, that's going to be another. I don't know what you want to call it. You might have a better description than
The
I do.
podcast within the podcast.
Yeah.
That's where, it's not live. It's not the live. It's going to be raw and uncut.
Mhm.
Don't get that twisted. But it's kind of like the, Andy Frisella has a couple different on his platform. He has a couple different types of episodes of podcast within. It's got like Ask Andy. He's got the Real AF. He's got, Ed Milet, I think, even has where he's, so it's kind of like our podcast within the podcast, where I get to talk like I'm talking right now, freely, openly, without having a guest on, and me just kind of like sharing my vision, my thoughts, the raw and uncut version, and probably some of the unsugar-coated version of myself that a lot of people see. Not that I'm any different off the mic than I am behind the mic, but I think a little more deeper thoughts, kind of like the stuff that we're talking about today,
Mhm.
that I think will really resonate, not with co-workers and stuff like that, but more focused on like business owners and entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Because here, this is more for like anyone to listen to that can get anything from it, like the whole life purpose thing. Don't live by accident.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Live with purpose. Don't live by accident. And maybe I can coin that phrase.
Yeah.
I don't know. But more deep down, like heavy is the head that wears the crown kind of shit.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And get deeper into some of my thoughts. Cause when I get on a roll, most of that stuff should be recorded, I think, cause it's good stuff that I think the world really needs to hear some raw and uncut stuff sometimes. So, I mean, that's kind of my description of it.
Yeah. I have the first couple episodes are done. And I can tell anybody watching right now for sure
Mhm.
that it is going to be, if you are a business owner, we'll just use that for an example.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for something and you're stuck or you need an answer within the first 3 episodes, and I'm not just blowing this up because, we don't do this for the views. We
Yeah.
don't do this for any of that bullshit.
No.
We do it to give back.
Mhm.
This is definitely going to help you.
Yeah.
Because behind the scenes, you'll send me 10 minutes. Okay, it's Ty. This is what I got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what to cut out of it.
Yeah.
I don't. Like,
Mhm.
my job is to edit it down, get it, get it where it's a couple minutes in.
Yeah.
Dude, I've taken 10 minutes of your stuff and made 3 episodes out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't, like I said, you know me. I'm not blowing you up. This is a fact.
Yeah.
If it needs to be cut out, I'll cut it the hell out. You know that. But there hasn't been much I had to cut.
That's cool.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put it all together and make it make sense. But man, it's good.
Yeah.
Real good.
Yeah. I just turning on the camera and the mic and I'm just talking. And I think that's some of that stuff you might want to, it needs to be cut out because I'm talking to myself, and I might be like, that was stupid, but you might even want to keep some of that. I mean, and that's for you to see through the lens, for me, you know what I mean? Cause you're probably seeing stuff that I don't see. Like you've been pointing out shit all morning to me that I don't see because I can't see the forest of the trees most of the time. And, but for you're really watching it. You're watching it from 1,000-foot view and you're going to see stuff that I don't see. And I think that's what's really cool about it not being live and it being recorded and watching my true facial expressions and really listening to some of my crazy ass thoughts on this journey that we call life that I'm on right now. And we're in a really cool spot. TC Backer's in a really cool spot. There's a whole bunch of other things that in the next couple, I'd say the next 14 days or so, 21 days that we're going to be launching and rolling out. I know the team is super excited about SRC.
Yep.
April Hall was our first New Year's Day.
Yeah, it was the first episode
2024, which I was just thinking I'm going to have to bump Aaron Thomas, I think, to after February, like the second or third week in February, because January 31st or something. I think that'd be a good one. I'll see if April can come on that because that's the week before SRC.
Yep.
And then the next episode, we will be that Wednesday, the 6th, we will be in Texas.
Yeah.
Then. So that obviously will be, live from McKinley, Texas.
Yeah.
So I want to it'll be the week after that. So the 12th ish, 14th ish, February 14th ish. So Aaron, if you're listening, I'm gonna have to bump you, buddy. At least a week or two.
Yeah.
Unless you'll be at SRC. I mean, you can be our guest at the 12 o'clock episode on Wednesday.
Come to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. Come to Texas.
Come to Texas.
Yeah. Yeah. So Aaron, we got, so beyond until about next week's Jim Johnson.
Yep.
We got Aaron Thompson. We got Daniel Rabowski with Quantify. If you don't know Jim Johnson, he's, the founder, CEO or whatever, him and Chuck Toki over there at Top Rep. Aaron Thompson with Sales Gadget is coming up. Daniel Rabowski. And in between there, before Daniel comes on, we'll be in Cayman.
Yeah.
Which will be a great episode because we'll have some freaking titans, some heavy hitters within the industry, some probably not so much in the industry, but just people who have influenced us in our industry that, because of them, our industry is going in the direction that it is today because of these really smart people that are coming into our industry. I know Daniel Rabowski will be there, Erico, and a list of other people that will be there. Woody, my buddy Woody, I can't think of his last name. So Woody, if you're watching, I'm sorry, buddy. But Woody is from the auto industry. He does dent and ding repair, storm damage on cars. So he's not necessarily in our industry, but again, he hangs out with us in our industry and has helped make our industry a better place because of how he conducts business and handles insurance claims and things like that has heavily influenced how we do things over here in the roofing industry. So again, getting back to surrounding ourselves around good people, and as uncomfortable as it is for you and myself to fly to Cayman, and big shout out to you, dude. Like this is the first time you're ever out of the country.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't mind me putting you out there like that, right? No. I know this is uncomfortable for you.
It is what it is.
But I know even when we're there, this is where like we need to embrace that suck. We won't feel the rewards of the fruit of our labor until we're on our way back.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you won't have moments of like, God, this is awesome while you're there, but you will be a different person when you get back from Cayman. So we need to embrace that suck, as uncomfortable as scuba diving is for me still. Okay. And if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't go. You know what I mean? I mean, it is up to me, but what I'm saying is I can't afford to not go.
Yeah.
To Cayman and be with Eric and all the stuff that he's got lined up for us. He's got some surprises that he's not letting us know, good stuff that's going to push us out of our comfort zone stuff outside of the diving. And him teeing up the group of people that we can network with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And expand our net worth,
Mm-hmm.
is going to be pretty freaking awesome. And then we're flying into Minnesota to Hook Agency. Tim Brown, big shout out to him. One of our first early adopters of Behind the Tool Belt, and sponsorship wise, he's hosting Cash Flow Kings. And, I thought a lot about that. Like, I don't want to get, like, I think everybody else is going to be talking about like P&Ls and revenue and stuff like that. I think I'm going to spin it more of a cultural thing. He had asked me to, and he said, I want you to talk about, culture, financial culture stuff, or however he worded it. But I think how I'm going to spin it, I was like, I'm not going to talk about P&Ls. I'm going to talk more about core values, like taking care of your team and they take care of you, and the money will come by taking care of people, not just those under here, but getting them on the same page to take care of those of us within the community. And it just happens, giving back, giving it away to keep it type of breakout. And I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not, because I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a CPA. I'm not, you know what I mean? I can talk all day about that stuff, P&Ls and gross profit and where that needs to be, and figuring out overhead. Like I can go through all that. If someone asks me all those questions, I'll break it down to them. No problem. But I think everyone else there will probably be talking about that stuff. And even if they're not, and he needs me to talk about that, I can still pull together enough information to impact some people's lives, some business owners' lives, before we leave there.
Yeah.
So, but I think I'm going to go more of the path of the cultural, taking care of your people, especially when your back's turned, and them doing the next right thing, and crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's, and making sure that people are paying their bills and that we're not overpaying for products and materials aren't being left on. And these are just small examples of doing the next right thing. Right. And teaching our team not to cut corners, doing it right the first time. Job worth doing is worth doing right the first time kind of mentality, kind of culture, accountability, a culture of accountability. Right. And financially, the company stays healthy. Now there's more that goes into it, but it really starts putting your people first over profit, and the profit just comes kind of topic.
Yeah, that's good, because you talk about that all the time. And I mean, we practice it here. It's obvious we love giving back to the community.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody knows TC Backer, they know.
Yeah.
Like, that's the first place they go. And the influence that's created locally, dude.
Yeah.
The Dotties, and you know what I mean? Like, those guys are gung ho, and they're doing a New Year's Eve thing. They're throwing, I don't even know what they're doing. It's tonight. It starts at 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have gotten, this is rubbing off, is where I'm going with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what we're supposed to do anyway.
It is what we're supposed to do. That's how, I think most people would be upset or envious, or, we talked about it. We get that award at the Home Builders Show, or the York Builders Association for what the hell is it called? I don't know. Community
Service
Achievement Award.
Community Achievement
Award. Right. And I truly feel this way. I truly do. And I don't know if somebody asked me the question or what, but the biggest achievement we could achieve is somebody beat us. Somebody else earned the Community Achievement Award. That in itself, if somebody outdid us, would be the biggest achievement. Right. And I think that would piss most people off. Like, oh, you didn't get the award this year. No. No, because that's not the intention. The intention is to impact as many people as possible. And if I'm trying to continuously, stay on top, which is good, especially if people are trying to chase us. Okay. That's one aspect of it. But if someone does outdo us and they donated 40,000 diapers when we donated 20,000 diapers, now that's 60,000 diapers that was donated. That is the win.
Right.
Okay. So for Dottie's to have caught the bug, right? Because there's no greater feeling in the world. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Than the impact that you can have on people's lives. That is true success. We talk about this all the time, and I will continue to keep talking about it because that is true wealth. You can't die with money. No one's going to stand up on the podium at your eulogy and talk about how much money he made or she made. No one's going to talk about that. That's not what I want them to remember me by. Mm-hmm. That is not what I wrote in my own eulogy.
Yeah.
I want them to remember me by how I made them feel, not necessarily what I did for them. Okay. The money that I gave them or the food that I gave them. It's more important to me on how I made them feel. Did I make them feel good? Did I make them feel like shit? Right? My impact that I want to have on people's lives. And again, this is where I struggle because I know not everyone is going to like me. Mm-hmm. They're not going to see what I see, nor sometimes can I explain what I see. Because it may impact the culture. It may create resentment. It may create, I just can't always share things like that. But not to get off track here, but the amount of impact that we can have, the inspiration that we can transpire onto someone else, that in itself is the win. And what better people than the people over Dottie's to have caught that inspirational bug, right? To want to impact the community, because I think they always have to a certain level, but I think we've really opened their eyes to the amount of impact that they could actually have in the tool, the vehicle at Dottie's that they have. I think they're starting to realize that Dottie's is the vehicle, right? Just like roofing. TC Backer has become, we reviewed our core values yesterday. And I don't point it out enough, but not one time in there does it talk about roofing. Not one time does it our mission statement talk about, our mission is to put roofs on people's house with the most cost-effective materials as possible. Like we just don't talk about that. Yeah, we want to add value. We want to impact their lives. It's more about how we make ourselves feel around each other. It's more so about how we make other people feel within the community and how we treated them and how we're treating each other is the nuts and bolts of our core values.
Yeah, because either way, good or bad, you know what I mean? Like that's going to catch on. Mm-hmm. So you can go down that road of not really caring how it gets done and have that negative impact, or actually care enough, start with yourself and push that forward through the team. Right. Because what that's going to do is it's just going to go downhill. It's a ripple effect. We talk about the ripple effect all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What better way to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And no better partner. Like, they like to come down and help us. And I know you've gone up there and helped them with some things and I know we're going to collaborate on some other stuff.
There's stuff coming.
Yeah.
And not to get off, like, and anybody doesn't know that Dottie's is a locally owned market here. And we are all about local.
Yep.
For the TC Backer side of things, and I don't know, man. Let's talk about the BMAC award.
The BMAC.
We have not had a chance to talk about that, man.
Yeah. I think I don't know if it's fear or maybe what's the opposite of ego?
Humility.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't really brought it up because I just don't. I mean, let's talk about it.
I just want to have, like your side of it. We got to see it. Like, I don't know if you know, but we knew ahead of time you were getting it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Which thank you to the RoofCon crew for making that happen. But dude, I know what it meant for me to see it. I just wanted to see, you wanted to share how you felt about it at the time.
Now I'm gonna go back to what I was saying right before we got jamming here a little bit. Is unfortunately I can't relish in the moment.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's my pride or my don't forget where you come from bum.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I don't ever want to be complacent. I don't ever want to forget if my dad told me something a long time ago. If I don't work for it, no one's going to give it to me. And that stuck with me. There's many things that my father had said to me over the years. And I don't want to go into any of them because it's the type of language that he used. But the one thing that I've watched my parents work. My dad is the hardest working, most smartest person I know. And I've never saw him let up at the age 78. I think he's 78, 76 right now. Still works every day. Okay. Never has not let up. Still up in upstate New York right now, building a cabin. Right. Like this man is just a freaking beast. Okay. And I'll be honest with you. And I tell him this. I want to be his greatest achievement, which helps drive me. Same with my mother. I want to be my mom's greatest achievement that she, even though she's no longer with us, I know she's looking down on us. I know Karen Shearer and I know Ann Backer both are looking down at us right now. And I'm so terrified of letting up and letting them down and letting everyone else down. Not egotistically, but letting everyone, and by not suiting up and showing up, because I know there's a lot riding on this. I know that, and I, what's awesome is that I love it. I love what we do here. I love the impact that we have on people. I love it. And you know what? I guess we broke it out. The BMAC award here this morning. I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about it or not, but the Ben Machaca award, which there's not many awards given in the roofing industry. I don't know if there's any outside of the Ben Machaca award, especially at RoofCon, to have been given such a prestigious meaningful with substance. Like this means something. Like this isn't just like, let's make something up and a gold star Friday where everybody gets a freaking gold star. Like this isn't that. Okay. This is the industry, the entire industry. Okay. Has recognized the achievements, the impact that because I didn't do this alone, the things that they said, why we got this, right? I was just at the helm screaming, hollering, pointing directions, giving directions. It really, this is, you know what? And I guess if there is a selfish part, was me not getting this out sooner, so our entire team could celebrate this together.
Yes. Yeah. Because it is about the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a win for the entire team. That's what this is. Yeah. So when we have our first quarter kickoff banquet, it's going to be in honor of Ben Machaca, and it's going to be in honor of those of us here at TC Backer and all the other companies, TC Backer companies, okay, to celebrate the award that the entire company and our supporters, right? Yeah. Because we couldn't have did it without the Zach Fishers, the all the families that come out to our charitable events, the families that have hired us to perform, our practices on their homes and stuff like that. That's who the award goes at. That's who really our team and our community and the families and our partners that have supported us along the way. And I'm talking GAF, Certainteed. It's funny. I'm going to get off topic here real quick. And you said something about local, and I don't know if I've reminded you of this for a while, or if you've ever heard me say this. And if I have, it's been a minute. If you think about the products that we use here at TC Backer Construction, all of our products are made right here in Pennsylvania. GAF Shingles, Myerstown, Pennsylvania. Certainteed Siding, Melbourne, Pennsylvania. Okay. Our windows, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And honestly, the list goes on. Our gutter materials come from right here in Pennsylvania, even down south. At all of our locations, and I know there's a couple other things that we use that are made right here in the state of Pennsylvania. That's one thing about our company, is that we've remained loyal, right, to our distribution and manufacturing. There's been some times that we've had to expand our reach a little bit just for footprint purposes or logistical reasons and things like that. But for the most part, we've stayed pretty loyal to our products, our customers, our team, everybody like that. And it really comes down to the local, community and, just remaining loyal. So anyhow, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought of that when you said, it's about local, and it really is. But getting back to the Ben Machaco Award, shame on me for not celebrating this win with our team. So I did that before with something. Those, we need to post this shit. We need to get a group photo before we take the Christmas tree down.
Yep.
And hold this and probably whatever other award that we have in this building, and just celebrate that win, all the wins that we've had, because collectively, like I read yesterday, we celebrate collectively. When one individual wins, we all win.
Yeah.
That's a part of our core values.
Right. And I'm empathetic when it comes to the reason behind what you just said. Okay. And what I mean by that is, it's easy to go, okay, we don't want to show it off. We don't want to show, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, there are people out there to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I think for us to hold all of them together as a group says a lot, because it's not really just about the award.
Mm-hmm.
It's the effort that went into that. It's our culture. It's our team. It's their beliefs, their passion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that picture is going to be great for two reasons. For one, we don't have one.
No.
Me being who I am.
Yeah.
But more importantly, it's going to show. It's going to show the world what can happen when you pull together.
Yeah.
And you work as a team and have each other's back. No one left behind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It all goes into that. That's our core values. That's part of our culture. Why not?
Yeah. You said something about, on our way to achieve that. It's, what's cool. It's who we're becoming on our way to keep pushing the things that we're learning, the skill sets that we're developing to achieve those awards, those goals, those things. And half these things we didn't even know existed. Like, next thing we know, we're getting phone calls. I'm being called up on stage for this. And, we go to a banquet, and next thing you know, they're rattling off 8 different awards one year for us. And it's like, that's not even why we showed up here. We came to support our local builders association. We didn't. And then, of course, that planted the seed, like, oh shit, they hand out awards here. Okay. Pretty cool. Pretty dope. Right. And, that's the thing too. A lot of people use that to their advantage, and we should probably be a little better about it. And Deshaun said this on an episode with Baker and I a couple years ago, is like, are you being humble, or are you hiding? And we got to ask ourselves that question sometimes, because there's no reason that we can't use those awards that there's so many awards that Man, like we're not even using that to our advantage for marketing or letting people know, our local communities know that we've just recently received the 3-star president's triple excellence. That's what it's triple excellence
yes.
award from GAF. Like they should know that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That should be, hey, that means it's only 2%, 1.5 actually, to be exact. 1.5% of us can only be master elite contractors in the country. You know what I mean? Like that in itself is a pretty big deal. But within that, there's other things that we must achieve, and it kind of gives us those that are of the master elite. Like, so those of us that are master elite, now that gives us one leg up on each other in there too. Cause some don't get triple excellence. Like there's more within that we need to achieve. And that was my thinking, when I got off that stage down there, I was like, okay, what else? What other levels of this master elite thing can we hit? Like, or is there a ceiling here? Is there a ceiling, or is there other things in here that we need to achieve? But I think more importantly, it's who we become trying to achieve those things.
Yeah. The experience.
Yeah.
All of it.
Yeah. Is there anything else that we should bring up, discuss? I know you wanted to talk a little more about like our up and coming stuff and or year in review, or.
Well, the year in review, I was thinking like, dude, we're blessed because this past year I went through every episode this year, and there is not one in there that's not top notch. You know what I mean? Like I'm very, very pleased with where this is headed. Well, not just the content level, but what your vision was for us to stand for. You know what I mean? Which is always giving back. That's what we do here. And that's the reason we do the show. If anybody doesn't know that, now you know. This isn't a monetary thing. We don't, none of that.
Yeah.
And that warms my heart because that keeps me, and this goes back to the culture thing, that keeps me wanting to do this, wanting to learn more, take more classes. I didn't know anything about any of this. The video end of it, I had no idea, bro. You know that.
Yeah.
But I felt like we needed something different than what's out there. And the whole live thing, I wouldn't want to do it any other way.
I wouldn't either.
Seriously, like, this is the only way this can happen.
I think so too. And that honestly is what makes it so difficult, where I struggle sometimes of like, man, I sucked. I should have never said that. Well, live, raw, and uncut.
Too late now.
Grow some balls. Right? Because really that's what it took.
Yeah.
5 years.
5 years. Speaking of that, we do have technically our anniversary, our 50th year anniversary coming up. I believe it's January 23rd.
What day does that fall on? Is that
falls on a Tuesday, I believe.
Okay.
Thursday. But either way, we're going to make some plans. I have some plans for that show.
Okay. I'm just kind of letting you go with it. I'm not digging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can't because I hit it all anyway.
Okay. Okay. I swear to you, I wasn't digging around.
No, but
I want to be surprised. And also I want to see your vision. I have not influenced, encouraged, directed. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to see what you've crafted.
Yeah.
On your own.
It's
on your own.
It's kind of my vision of what like you said, my perspective of it. But I also feel like being where we've been, being around all the people we've been around and seeing the reaction of them, when we take the circus on the road, we pull up the big tent and we go down the road.
Yeah.
The impact, like that's one thing when people go, oh, but what I'm getting.
It's good, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm excited. I'm excited. So hurry up, finish it.
Yeah. It's almost done.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's been a wild ride. It really has. And the impact is real. The struggle has been real. The learning has been amazing. You know, I can only pray to God that I remain driven, I remain resilient, and I remain teachable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of my goal for 2025, along with being more intentional. We talked about that, being more intentional with my time, removing some things in order to, because a lot of people like to stack shit. And I talked about this last year too, and I did a pretty good job, but I feel like I can do better intentionally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know that that's becoming a catchword, every catchphrase, and be intentional, you know. But seriously, you know, I was just talking to Tam this morning about my calendar and carving out time, you know, that I have to be intentional with. We talked about carving out time for Behind the Tool Belt, being more intentional, not being just off the cuff so much. And intentional with my family time. You know what I mean? Intentional with downtime, where, like we talked about the other day, like, you know, Joseph Hughes posted something the other day, and he is so accurate. You know, it's in those times that I'm playing dominoes with my family. It's in those times I'm on the boat fishing. And it's in those times I'm just being with. I don't have to be doing anything but just removing myself from the atmosphere that I'm in currently in right now, and placing myself in a different atmosphere, different view, right? Could be anything. Could be outside standing. That's where the creativity takes place. That's where the genius ideas happen, not always sitting behind the computer screen, not being at work. It's not, I'll be honest with you. I don't know if, I'm not saying I haven't come up with great ideas, you know, or a direction that we're moving in. I'll be honest with you. It's not when I've been in this building.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to make sure I'm carving out enough recharge time in my calendar to recharge, not just physically, but mentally, recharge my thoughts and my ideas and get a different perspective by removing myself from the atmosphere that I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably most importantly.
Yeah.
Not just for me, but everybody else around me.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make sure that I'm carving out enough time. So in essence is that I'm trying to figure out where all the dead by accident space is taking place. Like I talked about earlier, like I don't want this shit to happen by accident. You know what I mean? I want to be more tactical about it, not intentional, tactical. Okay.
Sure.
I need to be more tactical with my time. Okay. And make sure that I'm not even going to say balance, but there's a correct enough blend for me. Your balance may be different. Your blend may be different than mine. You know what I mean? And I'm going to be super tactical moving into 2025 with my time, who I'm spending it with, how much time I'm spending with them, right? And making sure there's enough recharge, reboot, rejuvenate, revision time, revision.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I feel the same way. Like I just be a creative mind. Sometimes you just need to step outside of that circle or the situation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I can sit home in my studio and that's sometimes where my best ideas come from.
Absolutely.
Or when we're on a trip.
Yep.
Or when we're not here. And
when we're on the road driving,
yeah,
that is my best.
Yeah.
I am at my best.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I grew up, my office, how this got started, and even before that, my office was always in my truck. I didn't even have an office. Okay. It was my truck. My briefcase was in there. You know, back then it was what was the name of the Atlas? Who made maps back then?
Oh, geez. I actually still have some of them. I can't remember.
Yeah. But I mean, I didn't have Google. I didn't have maps.
Yeah,
we didn't have
maps.
Yeah. We didn't have TomToms yet. We didn't have the Garmin's yet.
None of that.
You know,
you pulled over and found your spot.
Yeah. Your car didn't talk to you.
Page 52, A13, whatever.
Yeah, you know, and even before then we got TomTom, and then we got Garmin's, and then there was built-in GPSs in the car, and then if it didn't, it was on your phone, you know, and but I always problem solved while I was on the road, because usually I was on my way to a problem, you know what I mean, or an appointment, or a delivery, or something like that. But it was always about solution. You know what I mean? I'm on my way to resolute something. You know what I mean? And I, you know, I don't know if you know, in music and podcast and books, you know, I listened to a crap ton of tapes, you know, back then, CDs, you know, then Sirius satellite radio came out, and there was talk show host, and like, music plays a lot in my emotions today, you know, and where I want to be, I'll have to listen to a certain type of music, or where I'm at, I have to listen to, I don't have to, but do end up listening to where I'm at, or where I want to elevate myself to. Yeah. You know what I mean? So music, and being on the road, and that sound, and the surround sound of that music coming through the speakers in a vehicle. I don't know. I just have always had my most creative moments in a vehicle.
Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff recorded on my phone. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Yeah, just audio stuff that I'm chopping up at the moment.
I can't even imagine.
Oh, it's good.
I can't even imagine. Good.
Yeah.
That's good. Well, I think, where are we at? An hour and 17 minutes. Is there anything else that you want to review? Is there something?
Not really. I just, I don't know. I just felt like I wanted to get on here and just talk about the year it was.
It was an amazing year.
It was. But 2025 is going to be even bigger.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it as, I was reading something Winston Churchill said, I can't, it's not verbatim, but basically, what are you bringing in to the new year? Not, are you looking forward? You know what I mean? So what's the year going to give you? Yeah. What are you bringing into it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Kind of like, yeah, we talk about all the time. It's just kind of funny. I'm reading a book on Winston Churchill, and it kind of popped up for the New Year thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude was a beast.
I know he was. Yeah.
A beast.
Before his time.
Yes.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That era, the 1900s, had produced some of the greatest leaders.
Yeah.
In our time.
Yeah.
I mean, from the Henry Fords to the Winston Churchills to the Dale Carnegies to the list goes on. Books that we're still reading today, decades later, century.
Yeah. A
century later.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. Yeah. I've studied. I love the fact that you're reading about Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
I love that.
I watched a documentary about him through World War II.
Yeah.
And dude, that guy just
being decisive and uncertain, but still suited up.
Unwavering, man. Yeah. He's just like, man, just
resilient.
Yeah. Yeah. That was amazing.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am.
Good stuff.
Yeah, man.
I'm glad. Henry Ford's another good one. You know, that's, you know, if I ever had to say who we want to be like, I want to be the Henry Ford of roofing. I want to be the Ford Motor Company, the early days, the assembly line. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The assembly line, the Henry Ford of the roofing industry.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to be the Chick-fil-A. I don't want to be the Amazon. I know I've thrown that out there a couple of times, but really at the end of the day, I want to be the Henry Ford, the Ford Motor Company in the 1900s, where he was hell bent. There was two colors of Model Ts that you could get. Black and no other color than black. And he was hell bent on that. And I get that. I understand. If you read about that part where he was like, all cars, and then other car manufacturers were starting to come out with different color cars, white, you know, stuff like that, and how sales started to drop. And he was still hell bent, you know, no. He, you know, and so yeah. Anyhow, good stuff. Good episode, Vic. I love you.
I love you too, man.
I want you to know that.
I do too.
Thank you so much for everything. And thank you, everybody. You know, another shout out to Sammy upstairs. Probably I know she's working today. She's just a fucking beast.
Yep.
She said yesterday in the meeting, I heard it loud and clear, and I knew it. And my response was, I know that. And she said, I wouldn't do what I do for anyone else.
Yeah.
But you.
Yeah.
As my daughter was sitting right behind her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shit.
That is good shit. That's good shit.
Anyhow, I love everybody here in this building. Thank you guys for tuning in for episode 262. I could swear I'm having deja vu. I feel like was it maybe 162? I don't know.
There's been quite a few of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was 62, 162, and now we're at 262.
Amazing.
Yeah. So anyhow, till next week, Jim Johnson, January 8th. That'll be a great show. I don't know. We may have another special guest. There will be some people here, I think, visiting.
Yep.
I'm not going to throw that out there, but there might be somebody here visiting our office that if their flight doesn't leave, maybe we'll sneak them on here quick. So we may have an in-studio guest.
Mm-hmm.
But for sure, Jim Johnson will be on the show. I'm super pumped about that. Jim's never been on the show before.
Yep.
The guy is a freaking genius in the space that he's in. He's obviously in the roofing industry, but the space, the sales training space that he's in right now, I mean, just amazing what him and Chuck Toki are doing over there at Top Rep. So I'm super excited about that. That's one that I feel like I probably should prepare for a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, I got to be tactical with my time.
Yep.
And I'm going to. And anyhow, thank you guys for allowing us to do this, and encouraging and inspiring us and participating in all the crazy shit that we do here at TC Backer and Behind the Tool Belt. Thank you guys. So Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. And I can't wait to see everybody on the other side. So till then, be good.
See you, everybody.